am now.
Okay.
We're live.
Okay,
We're live, but not live.
Live, but not. I'm just I did the story on Facebook for the page, and I had to do it 3 times because I kept going. Okay, so we're going live with Thorskin podcast episode 31, but no, we're not live really. It's almost live. Welcome to episode 31. It's 31.
I know, it's going so quick.
I know, 31.
Real quick. You know what? I've been like, remember when we had like Expert on for just as an example. So I keep up to date with the next podcast, which everyone should, by the way, for proper good gaming news. They're on like episode 80 something. But it feels like they started years and years and years before we did, and it's like, wow, like I can't believe they're on like episode 80 and we're on 30. Like, yeah, that is literally a year's difference, but it feels like 2 minutes. But at the same time, years since the other people that I'm following had started. Like, we came so much more, later on. But yeah, it's going so quick, man.
And there are like thousands and thousands of podcasts out there doing the same thing that we're doing, and a lot of them struggle. We've had some really difficult, as far as listens and views can go, like we've had some really difficult phases, and I just keep saying to them, just keep going, keep creating, because eventually it'll all fall in place, like it is for us now.
The thing is with stuff like that is, I think the key to it is get yourself out there, get yourself and everything, like you've been doing a great job for us and everything like that. But don't really care too much about it. Just do it because you want to do it. And if you don't want to do it, don't. Like that's it. If you get the views, then like if you're doing it specifically for likes, then you probably, like, there's better ways to go around and get appeasement. Like, just if you want to build your channel, just do you, and people will tune in. Like, do you know what I mean? So.
This is it. When we first decided to make this show, we wanted to make it for us more than anything.
Yeah.
The exact talk we had was, just imagine taking an hour or two a week just to sit and talk about shit that you love with your buddy, and that's what this is, But the main reason I wanted to make this, obviously I've said this before, I went on and on and on about it with Matt and Justin, was that I wanted to return the favor because podcasts really helped me. I'm kind of like that dog, when they leave the radio on for the dog when they go out.
Do you know what? I literally put Joe Rogan on for my dogs. Like, he's now known in our household as Uncle Joe, and that isn't, like, that's genuine. I'm being completely serious. It's like, when we go out for a couple of hours, we're going to the cinema or something, it's like, oh, we're going to put Uncle Joe on for the dogs. It's just like, it's just intricate as well, because he does, like, 16-hour-long podcast, so you can go and watch a Lord of the Rings triple bill for the new Hobbit film at Cineworld, and you come back and he's still interviewing the same person. But yeah, you are right, it acts as therapy. Like, it did the same sort of thing with me. Is I found that when I was like really at a point where I was really searching for something for a bit of a distraction, and I found loads of Xbox related stuff, because that's what I was into at the time. And I've got 5 or 6 sort of gaming podcasts that I just religiously watched. I love it as a medium. I really do.
It's great. I had this really good discussion with a group of people on the Facebook. Drop
on the book face.
And we were talking about where like podcasting runs with radio. Does it run in parallel? Is it something that's going to overtake radio? And I'll say, like, it's something that can survive alongside each other, because radio, some people don't want to go and search for things. They just want to just zone out and listen to whatever shit's on the radio. Some people like to find something to listen to, like you said about your gaming. Some people are a lot more niche than that. They want to listen to a podcast about crochet or some needlework or tattoos or whatever you want to listen to.
The relationship between banana hammocks and the amount of people that watch Borat in third world countries. So, like, there's guarantee it. Search for it now, people. Pause us, search for it. I bet you there's a podcast out there for it. So I think it's taken over radio. I really do. I think if you took YouTube, just think about this for a second. Yes, radio reaches people on the drive to work, and everyone drives to work and back and all that kind of stuff. You think, if you looked at YouTube statistics, the amount of, like, that alone, like, forget Podbean, iTunes, Google Music, all of that, just YouTube video podcasts, I reckon it would blow radio out of the water already. And I think it's only sort of beginning. I think everyone's got a podcast now, haven't they? Because it's just a way to get a bit of an outlet, like you said.
And podcasts became like popular like from 2009 onwards. So like, if from that time within the next that 10-year sort of introductory gap, if you've got out there and got a podcast, I think you've got there at the right time. You know, because like you said, in 10 years it's just going to be massive. Podcast companies are running to podcasts. Like, you've got huge A-list stars now making podcasts because they can see where it's going. Look at what it did for Kevin Smith, for Christ's sake. I know going about him, but he was like made these films that everybody really loves, but he went into podcasts and he did it really early. Now he's like the fucking pod father, like Joe Rogan as well. Like, he got in there really early. And like, I don't listen to the radio anymore in the car. It's very rare. I got like an 800 song playlist on my phone that I just plug into the aux cable and away I go. I don't listen to the radio anymore because it's too shit. They don't play fucking Queens of the Stone Age and Foo Fighters and fucking whatever anymore. They play shit. So anyway, on with the show. Let's move on. Last week we did Superhero Bar Fight. We carried on with our Master Beta Trophy. I still love that every time I say it. The first fight we did was the Flash and Sonic and Spider-Man and the Tick. I wasn't too crazy about this fight. It was funny to talk about in the end. I think we kind of rounded it up in a nice way. Yeah, but I struggled through that one. Yeah,
I think sometimes we have a little think about the fights beforehand, so we know, like, in our own head. We don't like discuss it, but we think about just a cool moment or two, and then we can bring that in. I completely forgot to even have a think about the Flash and Sonic versus whoever it was. I can't even remember now. Like, you've literally just said it again. I forgot. But I think that kind of showed it. Afterwards, I was like, oh, we could have done this and we could have done that. But I think we made it up with the next one. I loved the round 4.
It was brilliant. It's so fantastic. We had Iron Man and Inspector Gadget versus Doctor Strange and Rick Sanchez, and this was one of the most fun. I think this and the Batman and Scooby-Doo thing they're the two most hilarious superhero bar fights we've ever done. Yeah. But the way, I'm not going to spoil it. Go back and listen to it. But let's see what the polls reflect on this masturbator tournament. We've said it before. We're not really paying attention to the polls. In fact, we want to have the opposite go into the polls because we don't give a shit for this one. It's about a bit of fun. All right. So for the first fight, we had the Flash and Sonic versus Spider-Man and the Tick, like I said, and that was very close. 17 for the Flash and Sonic to win, and 23 for Spider-Man and the Tick to win. So we kind of got that wrong, but we don't care. Jimmy had Sonic dragging them through single-handedly at one point. So, yeah, that's good for us. The next fight kind of got me, like, my asshole started flapping a bit because it's shot straight. It's shot straight up for Iron Man and Inspector Gadget. People were getting crazy for that, and I was like, "Hold on, come on! Like, you got Doctor Strange and you've got Rick Sanchez. Come on!" But it flipped, and in the end we got 16 for Iron Man and Inspector Gadget, and 36 for Doctor Strange and Rick Sanchez, which is the right choice.
75-25-ish.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great poll.
So basically, we've got one right so far. Like, I think we're either getting it really wrong, or, like I said, I think we're getting it really right. Because I want it to be wrong all the way through.
We've always said as well from the beginning, we're not comic book experts. You know, we're not one of these that will go on about statistics and the variations of which, what, and this, that, and the other. And we just like to have a bit of fun with it. Like, what do you think would happen, not what would happen, you know? And this whole masturbator trophy was created as a bit of fun. So I hope people kind of relax with it, because you know what, when people get pissy about things like this, I think it ruins the kind of the romance that people have with comic books.
I think people understand where we're coming from, though. I think by now. Exactly. So just before we get into like the actual meat and potatoes, just one thing I wanted to bring up was last night I watched the new Transformers film. It's been uploaded to Now TV. So we got in last night and we watched. It's called The Last Night as well, funnily enough. You know how Age of Extinction was like really, really shit. Like really, really shit. Well, half of this film was just as shit, and then the second half, it was like who's the guy who does Family Guy?
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, that's who I was going to say. Seth Rogen. That's why I asked
too many Seths.
Seth MacFarlane. It was like you know Mark Wahlberg in Ted. Like the comedy that's in Ted, it's like they tried to put that all the way through it, and it was like Seth MacFarlane was directing it instead of Michael Bay. And then there was some proper Michael Bay moments where they had a Lamborghini Centenario, the one that's on the Forza Horizon 3 cover, and they're like, you can tell that Lamborghini paid them to try and get it into it, because they had like actual like the shots that you'd see in a magazine of it, and it's like, you don't need to do that in the film. Like, you've got paid for product placement there. And they've got Anthony Hopkins going like, yeah, that's a bitchin' car. And it's like, shut the fuck up, Anthony Hopkins. Go eat someone. But then, right, the last third of the film, they go, you know what? Cut the shit now. We're actually going to make a good film. And they've got like the most amazing action sequence. There's one scene basically where this ship comes out of the water, and it's like, watching that on a 4K TV, I was like, oh my goodness, that looks gorgeous. And from that point, for like 20 minutes, my jaw wasn't off the floor, because it was just like, they were flying through the air, there was jets going everywhere. It was like proper back to like the action bits in the first 3 films. Where it was like, yeah, Transformers, motherfucker. Like, yeah, you didn't care because you knew it was cheesy as fuck. But I went back to that, and it's like, I finished watching the film thinking, wow, that was amazing, but because of the last 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why it got so much shit, but at the same time, I do at the start, like, there was like some real iffy bits in it. I just don't think people give a shit about Transformers anymore.
I think they they went to the consumer market a bit too much, I think, and they kind of, like what they did to Megan Fox, you know, they over sexualized it, which is great if you're a teenage guy, you know, like, look at the baps on her and all sorts of stuff. But if you're into movies and like you said, you just want an all-out fucking Transformers movie, without sounding too nerdy, can't we not just get on with robots and science fiction?
Yeah. It's like, you know how some people didn't quite get Thor Ragnarok because they thought they put too much humor in it, and it's like, yeah, you went too slapstick. Like, they did that with this one. Like, they put way too much humor in it. It got chaotic. You know those bits in Bridesmaids? We were on about this like last week, I think, where they've got the improv bits where they're just trying to talk over each other to make it sound chaotic and hoping someone says something funny. Like, there's too much of that in it. But yeah, if people haven't seen it, I know it's a random one, and it's a bit of, not an old film now, but it came out a while ago. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth putting that first hour of, come on, get through the chaotic dialogue comedy bullshit to get to the good parts. It's definitely worth a watch.
I watched it in the cinema. I came out kind of like,
yeah.
I've still got written in front of me.
Yeah, it does that. It's like some bits like I thought were really good and some good action bits, and then other parts I was like, what?
Remember we were talking about this idea that they're going to make a Hasbro universe movie type. Everyone's making them a universe now. A Hasbro universe. You have G.I. Joe and.
I think that. Do you know what? Like, you've done, 5 Transformers films now? Fuck it. If that's what you want to do, no one's going to watch the 6th one anyway. Like, the last 2 films have bombed. No one cares about it anymore. So you've got to do something with it. And if that's throwing G.I. Joe in there, so you've got fucking Channing Tatum in a ninja suit swinging around on fucking Optimus Prime's giant fucking bowling ball testicles, then that's absolutely fine. But what else are they going to have? Fucking Monopoly Man in there.
Oh, Hasbro own a lot, don't they? They own
fucking
a lot of...
Battleship. You got Rihanna there going, like, what's the word? Oh, I hate it when that, like, you want to get the word out first, and it fucking escapes you.
That film
Twerking.
wasn't too twerking. That film wasn't too bad. That got so much shit. Battleship did, but I saw the USS Missouri, which I've been on, by the way. I saw the USS Missouri, and then them kick starting the engine and stuff like that. I was like, oh baby, yeah. You know, I really like that film, but that's for personal reasons. Obviously, I like that ship. But yeah, I just wanted to say quickly as well. Moving away from that. Bitches, we are now on Spotify. Can you believe that? We're on Spotify. So, yeah, make sure you check us out on Spotify. Oh, by the way, did you check out that the audio I did for Garrett and Justin? Yeah.
No, and I'd implore everyone not to. It will creep you out. If you didn't catch the one where he did, basically Al got asked to do a little bit of like an erotica story, is it, or something like some creepy voiceover stuff? Yeah, and yeah, you gave everyone like a 5-second glimpse of what that was like, and it scarred me for weeks.
Yeah, you need to listen to this then. It's the same one, obviously, but obviously it's the whole thing. But Garrett made it worse by putting like some dude's sweaty chest breathing in the background and the sweat just rolling down his chest. And whilst I'm talking about Garrett and Justin, like, this isn't. My wife was like, "Is it true?" And I was like, "Bitch, please." Maybe it is. We just don't know. See, also, I wanted to talk about what.
Why did they want? All right, Jesus fucking Christ! Oh, go home, shall I? I am home. I'll just switch the fucking hangout off. Why did they want to do that? That's what baffled me. Was just why? Just give me like 10 words.
That Maddie, their friend Maddie wrote it, and they liked it. And obviously, there's a few jokes thrown around. Obviously, well, not jokes, but like obviously with Justin being bi and what have you, and Garrett and Justin doing a podcast together, and the kind of the bromance, I guess it's just a thing that somebody come up with. You know, I thought it was brilliant. I really liked it. I'm game for doing shit like that. I've got no fucking filter. So if you need me to flip the script on if anybody's listening, right, and you want me to read anything out for you, I'll fucking read it out. I don't give a shit if it's about Jimmy or what have you. I don't care.
It creeped me the fuck out. Is what it did. Anyway, right, let's crack on with some actual subjects. We've ranted about podcasts and Transformers so far.
Oh, lastly, we missed a beat with a fucking Blade thing last week, by the way.
I think you're wrong with this.
Oh, man, I saw the trailer. I thought, not the trailer, the poster that somebody made.
The
trailer? We were talking about people that could play Blade, and we were talking about all these characters. How the fuck do you go and forget Jamie Foxx? Like, Jamie Foxx is an immense actor. I think he'd be brilliant.
He should have been on the list, but I think we got it right with... Oh, is it Michael Jai, whatever he's called? Have I got the name complete?
Jai White.
Yeah.
Michael Jai White, yeah. Yeah, okay. We'll leave that there then. But he should have been added on the list. We're so racist of people. Just forget the best actor of colour that we've got at the moment, Jamie Foxx.
Can you imagine him like
Django?
Can you imagine him in his like president outfit that he had in that film with Channing Tatum, where he's running around with like Nike fucking sneakers on? Really? Jamie Foxx, Can you just stop being so cool for a second and just put this leather jacket on?
There was a bit in a movie. I think it was called Collateral, where he was with Tom Cruise, where he was a taxi driver and he picked up Tom Cruise and he was a hitman. Yeah. And there was a bit in that movie that made the hair stand up on the back. The whole movie was shit, right? But there was this bit in a nightclub where he just leans in and he just puts he's this nervous character for the film, and he just goes complete badass. And that made the hair stand up on the back. That guy can do anything. So, you know.
And he was good in Baby Driver. He had a good crazy in Baby Driver.
And Horrible Bosses too. Motherfucker Jones.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. I think... I don't know. There's just something about him though that he's Jamie Foxx, and I think Blade needs to be like. Yes, we had Wesley Snipes, and you can't really, particularly at the time, get more famous. But I think Blade needs to be someone like a tier down from someone who you just instantly know.
Yeah, and I think that was brought up on Thorskin as well. It's a valid point, so we'll leave him there, but we're not gonna straight go rushing for him, you know. And oh man,
Oh, don't matter. Go on.
What? What?
I was just going to say, talking about going Russian.
Oh yeah, man. I said jokingly to my little boy yesterday. I said, Timmy, are we going to teach you Russian today? May come in handy. Fucking hell, what's going on, man?
I don't know. Do you know what? Like, it's snowing again over here. I don't know whether it is over in Shrewsbury where you are, but we've had loads of snow. And like listening to like all the Russian spy shit news this morning, and all the snow, I was just like down 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 down. It's just like I've got an urge to go and put GoldenEye on my N64.
Oh, let's do that. Fuck the war. We're playing GoldenEye, bitches.
When you get shot in GoldenEye, you're like, and your watch comes up on your screen.
Brilliant. I love it. Okay, so if in America, I don't know, we've got more listeners in America now than the UK. If you're not too up to date with what's happened in a place called Salisbury, not Salisbury, if any of you are reading it like that. In Salisbury, there was an ex-spy that was. It must have been a contract kill. It must have been. Like they tried to get taken out with a nerve agent called Novichok, which is like nerve gas, but 10 times worse, apparently.
Novichok's a villain in a Rocky movie. Shut the fuck up.
And I think they did it in such a careless way that it's like poisoned the whole town. Like, small amount of this nerve agent has caused so much chaos in Salisbury. And obviously we've kicked off like the British, the stiff upper lip that we have. How dare you? How very dare you do that in Salisbury? Do you not know who we are?
As Inspector Gadget rocks up in his Aston Martin, gets out with his tweed flat cap on and his umbrella, walking sick, and just like, what have we here, Boris? I believe we have a nerve agent attack. Russian cunts.
So in response of that, we fired 23 Russian diplomats.
What? Sorry, I can't help but talk over you today.
We nuked the fuck out of Russia, and they are no more. No, we fired 23 Russian diplomats. There's been lots of to and fro-in. Russia have kicked out a load of their British diplomats that are working over there. Now Trump's getting involved. They're all arguing. And then Jeremy Corbyn's just kind of sat there going, can we not just chill the fuck out?
I'm vegan from the rooftops. Do you know what? Shit like this, like, it happens every week. Like around the world. I think it's just where it happens with us involved. We make a massive deal out of it. Just, I don't think it's going to be anything. Like, fucking Russia can...
No, me neither.
Russia can go in and fucking annex an entire country, fucking blitz the shit out of 2,000 soldiers, and that doesn't even hit the news. Like, they fucking wiped out, like, fucking thousands of Ukrainian soldiers in minutes. Didn't even hit the news. Like, and they can just get away with shit like that. Like, it's all just to-ing and fro-ing and flexing and dick showing and... whatever phrase you want to throw in there.
They're talking about taking England out of the World Cup. The World Cup's being held in Russia, of all places. Like, so they're going to take us out of the World Cup now. This is getting pathetic. Like, I think the World Cup is going to be like, like they had the Olympics, and now, like, because of the Winter Olympics, like South Korea and North Korea kind of talking again. Maybe the World Cup will do that, but we're going to start getting on a nice level surface with Russia. We're going to start talking. Then our dickhead football fans are going to go over there and start smashing shit out of everything. And then that's it. It's ruined again.
I was just going to say that, like, we could, like, get everything back to square one, and then just one game, and you've got, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And then Vladimir Putin's just like, I don't like this. I'll nuke you. Where do you stand?
I don't know what would be worse, if the football fans start smashing shit out of each other, or just turn around and start shagging each other, because they're both they hate violence and they hate gay people. So it would be like, imagine just a massive footballer supporter orgy in front of Vladimir Putin. I cannot see. I don't want to see. Shoot them all.
Nuke my eyes. I don't know why I've turned into Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And as well, the BBC have been getting a lot of shit as well, haven't they? Because they reckon that the BBC are trying to shit stir a lot. There was a picture of Jeremy Corbyn in a very innocent looking, just a flat cap, right? It's just like a train looking flat cap, And what they did is, while they were just talking Russia, they had a picture of Jeremy Corbyn all around the side of the studio with red behind it, and they darkened the hat to make it look like a Russian hat. So they had Jeremy Corbyn in the background looking like some sort of Russian sympathizer. And really, like, the actual picture is just him in this fucking dokey-looking train-style hat, you know, the old style blinders. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, can we not just live in a world where things aren't being stirred by the media, you know?
Yeah, can we not just skip forward until, like, we're ruled by robot overlords already? Just let's get this shit done with.
I'm not saying, like, we can learn Russian as much as we like, but Russians are all about pure blood from the motherland, like, so it doesn't matter if you're English, Welsh, or Scottish, or whatever, you're gonna die. And do you know what, right? It really pisses me off all this nuke talk. Like, if you've got a fucking nuke, use it, or shut the fuck up about it, because it's doing my head in now. Like, if you're gonna blow us up, just fucking blow us up. Stop whinging and whining, threatening us. Shut the fuck up, otherwise.
Yeah,
that's my take on politics. You know, stop scaring people. Let's talk about Tommy Wiseau instead.
Do you know what? When you sent this through, I was. You know what? First of all, excellent segue. Perfect. Like, that you couldn't have made that smoother, talking from Vladimir Putin to the Joker. Yeah, you sent this through, and I googled it, and I was like, "What the fuck have I just watched?" Like, I was literally just sat there thinking, "What the fuck?"
So you know, I was telling you to go and watch The Room. Well, this is the guy that created it, right? The guy's fucking nuts. He's absolutely insane. He had no acting talent. He got told he can't act, so he thought, I'll make my own fucking movie then. And then he made The Room. But he's also brilliant. He's kind of accepted the fact that he's hilarious now, and this is what you get. Like, he like stumbles through all the Joker's lines. He screams so loud he scares the shit out of everyone. But it's anarchy, and I love it.
It was all tongue-in-cheek, right?
Yeah, of course.
I was just making sure that you were aware. I hope to God it's not him.
It won't be him. Like I said, it's tongue-in-cheek. It's him taking the piss out of himself, you know, and that's great. Like, he knows he's not going to get it. Who do you reckon could play a new Joker? Like, I'd like Jared Leto to have another go at it, because I don't think he was treated fairly at all. Yeah. In fact, I had a right row with somebody on the Garmy the other day about it.
Do you know what I really want? What I really, really want? I want them to wipe clean all of this DC shit, okay? Just bear with me. In a perfect world, wipe clean all this DC shit. I want a new Batman played by the perfect actor, whoever, not Ben Affleck, and I want it set like where you've got an old, rugged Batman who is like can't be arsed with people's shit anymore for the sole reason so that we can fit the right villain in with him. And I want Mark Hamill as the Joker, so to have a new Batman and Joker film like that with old cheesy Batman music, like the kind that you get off the animated series, and to me that would be the perfect Batman film.
If they could just like do what they do with the animated series, but do it in real life, that'd be great. Because the animated films, even Marvel fans will say like, we're shit at making movies. Like, you know, DC animated movies are by far superior.
Oh god, yeah,
so good.
Oh yeah, the thing is, with Marvel animated films, it's like CBBS, like children's, you know, Mighty Avenger sort of like Marvel hero kind of stuff, where it's all colourful and poppy. With the DC side of things, they seem to get like anime style creators involved. Like, they all seem to be like that slightly anime style graphics, which just lends itself to being a bit more serious.
They get the best actors to do the voices, they get the best animators, and they don't give a fuck as well. They don't care about going a bit R-rated. There's in Assault on Arkham, you had Harley Quinn and Deadshot sharing a hotel room, and Harley Quinn's kind of like poking him, come on, you know, fuck me, basically. Yeah. And he's kind of like, okay, and he does it. I was like, whoa! Deadshot fucked Harley Quinn in Assault on Arkham. It's awesome.
I watched Batman Year One last night as well, after Transformers. Funnily enough,
amazing. Oh my god!
Can't believe it's took me like nearly 10 years to watch it. That's
That
old.
scene where they're having their dinner and he blows out the window and he's just got the Batman shadow in the window screen. He's like, "You've had your fill. Make the most of it. I'm coming." I can't remember the speech,
Yeah.
but oh my god, you know. And you've got Breaking Bad. What's his fucking name? Doing the voice. Fucking Malcolm in the Middle. The fucking. How can I forget his name?
Bryan Cranston. Is that his name?
Bryan Cranston. Yeah, he voiced Jim Gordon in that.
Oh, did he? Was that him?
Yeah. Brilliant.
Ah, cool.
Perfect. So, Ready Player One. Can I pick your brain on that for a bit? What are your thoughts on this?
You can, yeah. So, for quite a long time, I didn't really give a shit about it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was going to be one of those films that everyone gets really hyped up about because it's doing something unique, and like how the hell it managed to get so many licenses. Like, they must have either had a huge budget or gone, right, it's only going to happen if everyone says yes. Can you just all please say yes? Can we use your characters? And everyone went, yeah. Or
it's all but it's all Spielberg property, isn't it? Iron Giant.
No,
all these things that.
No, it's got people from. No, they got everything. They've got a Halo assault rifle in there. They've got Tracer from Overwatch. They've got loads of shit in there that is just everything. They've got Battletoads, which is another Microsoft one. They've got loads and loads of non-Spielberg.
Back to the Future cars.
Yeah, so yeah, some stuff like that is like just from everything. So I thought it was going to be basically a bit of just like a fan service film that like you watch and think, oh yeah, that's cool. Kind of like what the Expendables are to action movies. It's like,
yeah,
you've got everyone in there, but it's a shit film. It's cool to watch a couple of times, but you're not going to like want to watch it. You'd rather watch one of the individual actors' films. But the latest trailer, where it actually explains what the Oasis is, why they're trying to get involved in it, the fact that there's like an Easter egg in there that everyone's trying to hunt down for, and they've got it's bleeding over into real life because it's worth so much money. That's got like a real like interesting dynamic to it. I think that it could set itself up for being a really decent film.
And there's the cast as well. Letitia White, who blew everyone away in Black Panther, she was his sister. She's in it. And then you've got Ty Sheridan, who was the new Cyclops in X-Men First Class. Great cast. I mean, these are up-and-coming superstars, and we're going to get to see them in action. I think it's going to be very similar to kind of Hunger Games, but in the Oasis. The winner takes all kind of thing.
Yeah, I hope it's not too much like that, and I hope it doesn't set itself up for a blatant trilogy or quadrilogy. Like,
yeah.
I'm happy with it being a one-off film. I'm happy if it had a sequel at some point, like on an Avatar time scale. But yeah, I hope they don't make it too like weirdly futuristic like Hunger Games did, because that kind of threw me a bit. I don't like the stylized look of people. I'd be happy with this if it's just a case of it's in the future, everyone's stacked on top of each other like they're sardines, and it's like this minority. Yeah, that just pops in my head, like a Minority Report-ish kind of way of doing things, where it's just slightly dystopian, but not too weirdly out there.
I think as dystopian and futuristic as it looks, it's not too far away. Everyone's talking about VR at the moment. VR is huge right now, and that is what this is. Can you imagine like going on Xbox Live with your VR and going and meeting your mates in a VR bar or something, and then talking to them about what game they want to play? It's so fucking close, So it's something original that borrows from other films, which is very fucking unique. It's an original thing. It's not Star Wars, it's not Marvel, it's not DC. It's something original. Yes, it's using old characters from other films, but that's familiarity, and that's great for that. And also, it's believable.
Yeah.
It's believable.
You've hit the nail on the head there. Let me just sort of like, people sometimes can't buy into stuff like that with like, oh, it's nearly there. Well, that would never happen. That's bullshit, right? North Korea, give them VR headsets, get a developer to put $1 trillion into an Easter egg in that VR headset in a game, and you tell me that that scenario wouldn't play out if it was in a country that could allow it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could happen. Stuff like that really, really could happen. So, yeah, it's perfect opportunity for me to
I really can't wait.
Everybody buy VR. VR's amazing.
I've been seeing these bar fight scenes like on VR. I don't know where they're coming from, but on Facebook you've seen a lot of like people like picking up people and smashing them across the bar and throwing glasses and throwing people through windows. Where the fuck's all this come from? Is there a game VR like bar fight or something?
Exactly, yeah. There's just so much stuff like that like honestly, it looks like a kind of demo that if like you had like a demo disc that came with a magazine that had like a 20-minute demo in, it looks like something like that you do for 20 minutes. Like back when like they were trying to go, this is Metal Gear Solid 1. Look how amazing! Like, great. With stuff like that, when you're in VR, you could do it for hours because it's just so much fun because you just lose yourself in it.
It's the graphics though. It looks like the same graphics from Die Hard 2 from the PlayStation 1. People die.
There are other games that do push the graphics, but it's down to what. That's just a little experience. That's probably one guy who's like, oh, I'm playing about with this VR engine, and this is what I've come up with. Like, you give that to Capcom and go, right, put Resident Evil 7 on there. It's a completely different story. So you've got to bear that in mind. But yeah, you are right. They are starting afresh, and you've got to go through all the same sort of iterations of this is the next lot of hardware, this is the next lot of headset hardware. It's going to go through the same steps of like when you went from like 8-bit Mario to 16-bit Mario, where you're like, oh my god, he's actually got a face now. Like,
he's got a cap. He looks like a raccoon.
Yeah. So it's going to go through that same process. And you know what? Sort of linking it back into why we started talking about it. Eventually, when you've got sort of like gloves and a jacket that can like change, like a gel changes the heat and puts a bit of pressure in there for when you get someone grabs you on the shoulder from behind in VR, and like a pressure pad sort of like pulls your jacket backwards, you're gonna lose that sort of like what it already, like, honestly, even the shittest graphics are running on basic hardware. VR can already trick your mind, and you've seen the videos of people falling over, or like I've seen videos the other day actually of you're at the fairground and you got your basketball hoop and you're throwing it in and it comes back down and you trying to get a high score. Literally just that, and a ball comes down, rolls over the edge and rolls in front of it, and this girl goes to pick up the ball in VR but in real life, and she just goes arse over tit. She just fucking face plants this drywall, and it's fucking hilarious. But it's like, it goes to show like that's how much it tricks your mind. You put a few little extra layers on there, like clothes that can got pressure pads in and shit, like you're fucked. You don't know what's reality at that point. Like your mind's going, oh shit.
I said I can't wait for Tekken when imagine that punching shit out of people in the room. We've talked about this before. Actually, I've got an opportunity to play it because Ryan from Sketchy Connection's been playing it a lot. He's like, "Come round, man, have a few beers, check out the VR," and I was just like,
"Do it, man!
Maybe.
Seriously, it's one of those things. That I know you're skeptical on it, and you might try it and go, no, that's not for me. Great, you've made your mind up at that point. But it's one of those things that you can't look at. You know, like if someone's just like, oh, you don't know if you're gay until you try. If you like, just get someone to suck your dick. It's like, no, I'm all right, thanks. I think I'm. It's not one of those situations. You've got to try it to figure it out. Yeah.
I wonder what it's like to fuck a horse.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No thanks.
Can we get onto the big news now, please? The most important thing. Infinite. Fucking hell. That's the great setup for that one. Infinity War trailer, the new one. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's It made I had a Spidey moment on the bus where I looked up at my arm and my hairs had gone up, and I looked behind me to see the big fucking halo thing in the sky, and there was none, and I realised I was just watching a trailer. Holy shit. This is going to be the biggest film ever. I'm
struggling with it though. I'm genuine on an emotional level. I am struggling with this, and I'll tell you why. a lot of people will tell you, like, I'm a man of equilibrium. I like things to stay the same. I don't like change. So when a friend gets a new job or moves house or somebody's having a baby or, something that changes that can immediately change my universe and things around me, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And that's not me saying like, oh, fuck you for getting a job or fuck you for having a baby. It's just change. I don't deal with it very well. And this is going to change everything in the Marvel universe for me. Like, I don't want Captain America to die. I don't want Iron Man to die. I don't want anyone to die, but it's going to happen, isn't it?
I completely get where you're coming from there. Linking it back in to one of the first subjects, people cared with Transformers 1 and 2. Not so much with 3 because it was a bit of a shit film, and then onwards, no one seemed to care. It's because they took Optimus Prime out of it, and they introduced a bunch of new characters, and Bumblebee was like the main character, but he wasn't in it as much. Things changed, and people's reaction to that is everything. I don't want this to represent the same thing with the Marvel universe, where they're like, oh, Captain America's dead, and Winter Soldier's, as he does in the comics, is taking over the mantle. Like, I don't want them to.
They're being very clever with it though, because you've got like Captain America dressed in black with dull colours, and he's looking all old and ragged, like he does in the comic books. And like, if he does die, we don't even know if he is going to die. If he does die, and say Bucky takes the mantle, they're going to bring out that nice blue and red and white spangly outfit, and it's going to look colourful and heroic, and it's going to be a symbol for everyone to feel the joy. So like, dulling him down, making him all look down and out and black, like clothes and stuff.
Yeah,
it's a great way for setting it up for whoever else is going to take up the mantle. And I honestly would welcome Valkyrie to become the next Thor as well, because she kicked all kinds of ass in Thor Ragnarok. I'd love her to become the new Thor.
Yeah, I'd be happy if that happened. I just don't think they've set these characters up so much now that if they were to try and start changing things and expect people to keep up with it, and like, people are like creatures of habit. Like, what did I say to you ages ago about people's problem with Batman, with Ben Affleck? If you like look at that, maybe he is an alright Batman, but people don't give a shit because you didn't set him up. But no one's got the respect for him, and you need people to gain that respect for them to then actually watch the film. And get the most out of it and go along with you with the story that you're trying to tell. If they sort of just come along and go, right, Chris Hemsworth, people like, how many fucking millions of people are like, oh my god, he's the hottest guy ever, he's like, he is Thor, he's this, he's that. Okay, we've got Valkyrie in there now, we've killed off Thor. It's like, how many people aren't gonna quite understand why they've done that?
Yeah, I know, I get you.
So they need to be careful.
Comic book fans are fickle as fuck, and the arguments you see on Facebook are at times hilarious. They struggle with the idea of them being a new Wolverine, for example, or somebody else playing Storm or something. It's just not. It doesn't compute for them. It's not quite, and that's the same for me. I just told you I don't deal with change very well.
I just had the funniest thought. What if, how now that they've bought Fox, and they're like, Hugh Jackman's said, like, I'd come back as Wolverine if they'd put me in the MCU. What if they're like, no, Hugh Jackman, you're okay, we're having Wolverine, but not you. What if Peter Dinklage is the new Wolverine? And you get that scene when they're all running towards each other on the film, and Peter Dinklage is running faster than everyone else, and he just pops out from in between Cap's legs and just like snicked, running towards them.
Oh, you're going to hell. I wrote here about talking about Peter Dinklage. I say you're going to hell. I put, Peter Dinklage is set to make an appearance. His role is a mystery. We've been left short-sighted. Whatever role he plays is going to be a tall order, but I'm sure he will rise to the occasion. Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is so un-PC. Well, I've already put forward my thoughts on what Peter Dinklage's role is going to be. Can you imagine as well? A little mini Wolverine. That's been. Do you know what? Peter Dinklage could be the character from X-Men. Does he die in X-Men?
I can't remember.
Because he was. He
was the politician, wasn't he?
He was. I can't remember. But that was like it was the days of. Was it Days of Future Past? Back in the 80s, wasn't it? He played a character that was alive during the Cuban Missile Crisis, along Future Past and First Class time frame. So, would he play that character? Would that be?
No. They'll suit him up and give him some creature to play or something. I imagine. I hope that he gets a good role. I don't want him to be like a fucking. The MCU version of a fucking Ewok or something. Do you know what I mean? I want to. Yeah,
but I can't think of any like joking aside now. Like genuinely, like who could he play? I don't know, because obviously he'd have to play a small character, and that's not even joking about. Like
he can play Ant-Man.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus. Oh god.
Guys, I've got a great idea to save on money. Instead of using CGI to shrink Ant-Man down, we're going to use Peter Dinklage, okay? We're going to have Paul Rudd as the human-sized Ant-Man and Peter Dinklage as a little Ant-Man.
And we got Dwayne Johnson coming in for Giant Man. I don't know who he could... He's probably going to have to be a suit somewhere. He's going to be a suit and tie behind a desk or a scientist role.
Fuck, just give me Tyrion Lannister.
Oh my god. Can you imagine if he was MODOK and he's just in a fucking hovering wheelchair going around with the fucking TV screen and it's just fucking Peter Dinklage like
God. Oh god, we need to get off this. Let's talk about I'm going to talk about a trailer, then I'll bring up what I was about to bring up. Have you seen the new trailer to Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald yet?
I'm not done talking about the ways in which Captain America's going to die.
Okay, let's go back then. And go. The fuck?
Thanos punches him in the balls, and he just got a Thanos-shaped hole, like when in Looney Tunes they run through a wall. Mate, I was being a dick. I was actually done. I was just winding you up.
That's fine.
I ain't got nothing.
No, I want to talk about it now. I don't think that's where Captain America dies. I really don't. I think he's gonna get rescued.
Bit where he goes to punch him, and he is fighting for his life at that point. Like he is. If he can't hold that fist, he's dead. Like flat out. One punch from Thanos, and you are gone. Like that is.
There's some people that reckon that
film.
There's some people that reckon Captain America has the Soul Stone because some smart ass has noticed that the color of his eyes change from like blue to yellow as he's holding his hand back, which would be a bit. They wouldn't do that, would they? They wouldn't be like Captain America is the Soul Stone. Oh! I'm not talking about soul.
I don't know. If they had a good reason, I don't think he would be the Soul Stone. I reckon they'd be like, "There's one soul, there's one stone left. Where is it? Here it is." He's trying to keep it hidden, and at that point, like it becomes apparent. But I don't think he will be the Soul Stone in the same way that Vision is mind. Like it won't be that. Yeah, he'll have it in his pocket at the time, kind of thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's talk about Fantastic Beasts. Have you seen the trailer for it?
I have. The first one really sort of like blew me away. Like I really, really enjoyed that. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but the last couple of films were genuinely good films, and I get why people like the franchise as a whole. This was a little bit different in that it was. I like the focus on the animals and the Fantastic Beast side of things, that it wasn't just like a cheap tie-in. This is actually a character, and all this shit went on before, and I like how it's better. It's a better tribute to Harry Potter than Hobbit is to Lord of the Rings.
That's
do you know what I mean?
Perfect analogy.
Like,
Perfect analogy.
it's that prequel that deserves to be there, and I can respect as a prequel that is completely. I'd never watch them. I'd never do a marathon. I'd never do a fucking Harry Potter marathon anyway. But I'd never do a full marathon of them. I wouldn't do one of Hobbit and Lord of the Rings for fucking different reasons, because I'd have motion sickness. Number 2, I'm really intrigued. I haven't seen the new trailer. I'm not gonna lie, but the idea, yeah, I'm definitely gonna go watch it.
Well, first of all, I love Eddie Redmayne. He was fantastic in The Theory of Everything when he played the late Stephen Hawking. Commiserations, lots of
I can't believe we haven't talked about that already. You did
we'll cover this after this bit. That's what I wanted to talk about. But we'll talk about this, and then we'll talk about Stephen Hawking after this. Okay. Eddie Redmayne is a fantastic actor. He was one of the best we've got, better than anyone I think we've got in the UK. Then you had Ezra Miller, who's like a really quirky guy, and he played that really kind of downbeaten character in the first one. Amazing performance. But now you've got Johnny Depp playing a villain in this, like Johnny Depp. But the thing I'm not too keen about is Jude Law playing a young Dumbledore. That's what you've got in the new trailer, if you haven't seen it. So they're going to Hogwarts back in the day, and you've got Jude Law, who's Albus Dumbledore, sexy as fuck looking Jude Law motherfucker. Like, and I'm kind of like, yeah. I mean, like, the point I've made before is that they've never gone wrong with Harry Potter. I think that whether you like them or not, they're brilliant spectacles of film. J.K. Rowling's got a fantastic mind, and they've always done a great, justice by the way they put it on movies and the way it looks. And I trust her. I trust her vision and the way they make these movies. So, yeah, I'll buy it. Jude Law as a Dumbledore, but I'm not 100% in. Johnny Depp as a villain, I'd buy any day, because you've seen what he can do, no matter how much of an asshole he may be.
I must be the only person in the world who's sick of everything Johnny Depp. I think he's the most pretentious cunt in the world. I really do.
I think when he's not like the star, like when it's all about Johnny Depp and he's like he's the only person on the poster and he's doing this, I think that's when you kind of get annoyed with him. But when he's kind of with a cast of other people as well, like I've seen that, like all he did for Tusk, because he was in Tusk, which gets a lot of shit, but like because Johnny Depp's daughter and Kev Smith's daughter go to the same school, they got chatting, and then he asked him, and then like he turned up with a full prosthetic kit and he spent hours on makeup, and it was just a favor for Kevin Smith. The guy puts so much into his work, So I like Johnny Depp as an actor. I didn't like Willy Wonka. He's hit and miss, but like when he goes all out, he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And yeah, Eddie Redmayne always gets me. This looks amazing. There's nothing else to say.
Yeah, I think they've got a real opportunity to take this places. I think something like this, it's never got to be as big as Harry Potter because you've got the brand name, the proper brand name behind it. But this has got an opportunity to be as big because people understand that it's Harry Potter. They've got an opportunity to not have the whole Hermione, Ron, and Harry dynamic going on. They can just let loose a little bit more and be like, well, this is... You wanted a giant wizard battle scene that wasn't just them shooting candles up into the sky. Here it is. Let's go full fucking Dragon Ball Z with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because there were some bits in the first Fantastic Beasts towards the end that were like, oh, shit. Like, this is kind of violent.
Yeah. And I like that. I like that they can expand the universe and you can talk about different things. Like you said, adults with wands rather than fucking geeky, nerdy kids.
Perfect. Yeah, adults with wands rather than the love dynamic between a fucking pretentious, smart, cocky Emma Watson and a ginger twat.
Yeah. Yes. You wanted to... Okay, let's talk about Stephen Hawking. Let's not forget that, because it's huge. It's phenomenal, and we've lost one of the greatest, the greatest mind of my era of living, my generation. And it really upset me to find out that he died, and I think it's touched a lot of people.
Because usually with stuff like this, it's like someone's been taken to hospital. The shock ones are usually they've had a heart attack. They were heavy into drugs at the time, this, that, and the other. And obviously, Stephen Hawking wasn't a well person throughout his entire life, but with stuff like this, it's usually a case of they've been taken to hospital, looking bad, and then a few days later, they died. This was just random. Got in the car one morning, it's literally turned on the radio, and it was that. So, yeah, it's
very sad.
It's crazy with stuff like this. It shocks me that so few people have minds like that as well. That whether it's just a celebrity thing, in terms of compared to, you know, one side to another, how many normal people there are to celebrities anyway. It's only ever a small fraction because there's only so much room for people in the limelight. But I don't know whether that's a good parallel or not, but like how many few people there are with minds like that you've got, like people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, you've got your Brian Cox, who they are the celebrity side of things, and I'm sure there's handfuls and handfuls of people underneath that, but no one who kind of does that same thing.
He set the tone, didn't he? He set the tone.
Yeah,
and he didn't work on other people's work. He did work on other people's work, obviously, but he created new versions that were his. Do you know what I mean? Like he created theses and theories and things that people work on today still. You know, he was our Einstein, you know, and I think, you know, and also as well, it's his sense of humor that I loved. You know, he could have been very PC and be like, don't talk about me, I'm in a wheelchair, don't take the piss out of my voice, no. But no, he'd go on The Simpsons, he'd go on Family Guy, or he'd go on Big Bang Theory, and he'd have a laugh and a joke with him, you know, and you don't see that very often.
The bit in Big Bang Theory where they make a remote control car out of him, and the whole episode is about how bad taste it is. Then they get Stephen Hawking just be like, I think you should have made a remote control car out of it. That would have been badass. It's just like, just shows like what kind of character that they were. And I think it's a shame in a way, but also sort of like a really uplifting thing to think that the knife point that we're on at the moment with space travel, with what Elon Musk is doing for the world, with the way that science is going, that we're really at a tipping point. I do think that in the next 10 years, and they say this all the time, don't they? Oh, we're going to make more progress in the next 10 years than we did in the last 100. Yeah, of course we are. That's the way progress works. But I think we're at that tipping point where instead of like a leap, it's like, it's a fucking leap. I think we're going to really start to see all of like the theory-related stuff start coming through.
And also we're getting people that are coming to the idea, like people like Elon Musk. He's a clever guy, but I'm pretty sure there are cleverer guys than him in his pay grade. You know, you don't have to be a visionary now to create ideas. You just have to have some bank. You know, you can hire people to think for you, and you know, that's
a very good point. I think he does a lot of it himself as well, obviously, because I think he's sort of like 50% businessman and 50% actual, physician. Not physician, because doctor.
Physicist. Let me just check your knee for you. How's the rockets going, boy? I would like to see all the astronauts naked, please. Line them up for me naked.
Prostate check time. Yeah, it is a shame, but I think I think the next few years will have, if there is such a thing as heaven or an afterlife, I think, or just the concept of someone looking down. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the next couple of years will, like, I think someone like Stephen Hawking will be happy with what's going on, not as a whole, but the scientific progress that we make.
Can you imagine, like, you spent all these years proving that everything is science and like physics, and you know the earth is all natural and there's no heaven and all stuff, and he gets to heaven and sees God at the pearly gates and he's like, oh shit.
You motherfucker.
Oh no. Oh Oh God, yeah.
Have you seen?
We're gonna miss you.
Yeah,
Go
we
on.
will. We definitely will. Little
I
things
totally
as well,
miss
like
you.
the selfish things of having those moments in Big Bang where it's like, oh, he's such a character, they can do these kind of things. I can't wait for the inevitable Big Bang tribute that they end up doing at some point in the next season, because you know that they will.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough moment. But if you've seen it's sort of like flipping it a little bit, but sticking with the space and stuff. Did you see Donald Trump's speech the other day?
Nope, missed this one.
So
Sorry. Tell me.
he thinks that, and of course, bear in mind behind all of this, he's got buddies who make spaceships. Of course, he has. Yeah, he thinks that space is a war-fighting frontier, just like land, air, and sea, and that. How Peter Griffin is this? Yeah, we need a space force. Yeah, we need space marines. Ah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What are we protecting ourselves from? Russia aren't going to come and attack us in space. Like, they're going to get up there and they're going to be like, oh, "What do we do now?" kick all their satellites out.
It's just like that bit at the schoolyard where you're just like, oh yeah, you're a prick, you are. You're a knobhead. Yeah, meet me in the schoolyard after school. We'll fight. Yeah, that's what Donald Trump and Putin will be like. Yeah, meet me up in space in 20 minutes. Yeah, bet you don't come. Just Putin gets up there. It's just like, oh, I told you Trump wouldn't be here. It's ridiculous. Do you know what I think a lot of this is? And like, oh my God. Something else, I got to tell you about something else straight after this as well. Something that sort of popped into my head when I was thinking about all of this. There's lots of, and I'm not giving him any credibility, but all the Tom DeLonge stuff with all the space, the technology that they've got, that they're sort of backwards engineering and all that kind of stuff. Everything with space travel at the moment that's going on, it gets you wondering, like, is there kind of something that's going on in the background that they're preparing for a bit?
You think Independence Day is coming?
It's gonna it's gonna happen someday. It has to. Like well, I say that. The chances are that it won't, because the fucking universe is so big, but
I can imagine aliens looking at us and going, "Nah, I'm not getting in the middle of that. Fuck that lot. They're too complicated." I don't know.
So, a couple of little random bits just to throw in there, right?
Okay.
Just
sorry, I was trying to fashion an inhaler with Vicks Vapor Rub and tissue because I'm dying of the flu at the moment. So I'm really sorry if you can see me doing weird shit on the camera.
It's all right. So I was watching.
Do you know what I did the other night? Actually, right, I was thinking, right, do you know what? It's my last night here. I'm going back at work tonight, so I was like, my last night at home. I'm gonna have a really good night. So I had everything set out. I had my Vicks Vapor Rub, I had tissue, and I had my inhaler thing ready. I was like, I got myself really comfortable in bed. I was like, yes, it's great. And I tried to blow my nose, right? I just put Vicks Vapor Rub on my chest. I went to blow my nose, and it wouldn't move, it wouldn't budge. So you do that really guyish thing where you twist the corner of the toilet paper and you shove it up your nose and you give it a wiggle, you know. But I just wiped my hands on this piece of tissue, so I ended up putting Vicks Vapor Rub right up my fucking snotter.
Yes.
So the inside of my nose was just burning. So I was like, "Fuck that! I'm awake now, aren't I, bastard?"
Oh, that's
I hate the flu.
I bet your nose cleared though.
Oh, it did, yeah, but it felt like it was on fire. It went from one sensation to another. So, yeah.
Sticking with all like this, the sciencey stuff. There's two bits that I want to bring up actually. We go on about them all the time, but I don't really give a shit if it's like the subjects inspire us to talk about them at all. I really couldn't give a crap. Watching a couple of week-old Joe Rogan podcast the other day, and he had someone on. At some point, they were talking about bacteria. And just on about, because we're on about like space and science and progress and war and all that kind of stuff. We're on about bacteria and how because you got me thinking aliens looking down. I just had this image of them studying a petri dish, And they've looked at bacteria, and they operate on a sort of like colonial behavior, where you put two separate groups of bacteria together, and even if they're the same group, they will attack each other. And not only that, they will shun out the bacteria that are lazy and are not pulling their weight and not, secreting enough of such and such enzyme. They'll push them out to the edge so that they die, so that the strong ones are left. So, like, two different groups of bacteria that are exactly the same will just annihilate each other. And then they were drawing parallels between that's exactly the same way that, like, ants and bees and stuff operate, and how they were looking, they brought it up because of, like, the concept of racism, of, like, how does that exist? Well, it's actually just, like, a symptom of tribalism, basically. If we could all be white, we'd still find a reason to fucking knife each other down and shoot at each other. And then they threw this fucking mindfuck of a statistic in there that your body, something like 80% or 70-something% of your body's cells are bacteria cells. Only like 20-something% of your body cells are your own cells. And you look at that, what those bacteria colonies were doing, it's like, is our behavior getting controlled by, like, the bacteria on us and shit like that? It's like the things that you eat, and how like the bacteria that's in your gut can change from your diet. How one person who eats shit will have a different gut makeup of bacteria to another, and all of that kind of like the behavior. I found that really, really like a real far-fetched moment, but like,
can you imagine them having this conversation with King Jong-un, and they're like, "Why are you such a dick?" And he's like, "Bacteria." It's my bacteria that does it.
Anyway, the second random bit of a side note story to throw in here. So I clicked on a random tweet yesterday that someone else retweeted, and it sent me down a fucking rabbit hole, like major rabbit hole. There was
hermaphrodites.
Hermaphrodite rabbit hole. Yeah. No, it was someone had got they took a recording on their phone. They got a voicemail, and it was a call, but it was a robot reading out a text message in code. So every one was the military the military alphabet for each letter, and it spelled out like something insane. I wish I had it up in front of me, but in fact, bear with me 2 seconds. Let me get this up. Okay, so there was a bit of editing magic there, but I've just put it back on straight away because going to find this tweet, it's been deleted after like hundreds of thousands of tweets, and that's freaked me out even more, so I'm just going to have to go off memory. Basically, someone put a 1 minute 30-second recording of this code that they got sent through military alphabet, the operator woman sort of reading it out, and it was basically along the lines of SOS, we're in danger, SOS, it's not human, something about a flight danger, SOS, basically. And they put it up just like, what the fuck, I've just got this through. People were like, have you got this bit of information about it, to see where it got sent from? It came from, where the latest Malaysia flight went down. It got sent from there. They were like, what if it's the black box recording? And then he got this text through saying, please delete your thread about the your message that you got sent through. It's like, I'm paraphrasing all of this. It like directly said, delete this. And it was like, it was a full-on threat. It was like, do it now, else you're gonna fucking get killed, basically. It was a threatening message that they got through. And it was like, they are not human, we're in danger, they are not human. Coming from the place where they... It's like, this is just a random tweet that went semi-viral before it got took down. And like
Oh my
having
God.
gone back into that literally just now to see it's all been removed, I'm like, what? I can't believe that. I just clicked into it and it's like, this tweet's been deleted. I can't believe that. That's freaked me out so much.
And that's coming from like a year when we've had far more, like, I don't mean to sound like fucking Tom DeLonge, but this year has been full of like anomalies in the sky, lights and flashes and things that people can't quite understand.
Yeah.
You know, it's been maybe Tom DeLonge's right. Maybe we're being invaded.
But the fact that it
arm up, motherfuckers.
Every bit of evidence that people were looking into, like it came with GPS coordinates and all of that kind of stuff. It was where the last plane went down that they found it, or where they expected it to go down. They're like, what if it's the black box recording? Read that out. What it said again? It's like, they are not human. We are in danger. That just blew my mind. And I was there just scrolling through Twitter, and I came across that. And I was like, 5 minutes later, after like reading through all these tweets, I just realised, like, I looked up and thought, am I alone? I'm freaked out now. Somebody.
That's
crazy.
That's really creepy. That's really creepy. Okay. Question for Jimmy. I'm going to move on to this bit. I need to get... By the way, I'm trying to sort out a jingle for Superhero Bar Fight. I don't mind telling you that on the air. I'm trying to get someone to make us a really... By the way, if anybody's listening and fancies making us one, please get in touch. I want some really cheesy metal.
Oh, make it good. I want good now. We've put all that effort into the artwork. I don't want to go back to cheap.
Here's my vision.
I struggle with the Shaft music at the start of the episode of each podcast.
We can't change.
I love it, but I'm like, I want a proper intro now.
Here's my vision, okay? You know that crazy guitar solo thing you got in the beginning of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? And it builds up, and then you hear Superhero Bar Fight! And it goes into it. That's cheesy, but it's great.
Stop shoving Vicks vapor rub up your nose. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I can't breathe. Okay, questions for Jimmy. Right, okay, I've got a new idea to get people interacting with this, by the way. For about £30, I think you can get a box full of Thorskin stickers. If you're going to put in a question for this, I'll send you out a fucking sticker. I don't care, okay? So, Ryan A. Berger. It's a genuine guy. I talk to him all the time about the show. He's a fellow guy. He sent in a question for you. Okay. I don't know if you know much about Lou Ferrigno, but here we go. I have a question for Jimmy. If Lou Ferrigno is walking through a forest and a tree falls, does he hear it?
Wow.
The guy's deaf.
I don't even know how to answer. I've already done my non-PC bit for this episode. I joked about Peter Dinklage running through Captain America's legs. I can't get away with deaf jokes as well in the same episode. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. The thing is, if a tree fell on top of him, he'd just like hulk it up into the air and just throw it away. Just be like, stupid tree.
Somebody should clear up that mess.
You got another one?
Okay. I'm struggling. We've done that one. What came first, the fruit or the colour orange? That's from Graham.
The fruit, because it evolved before people did, I imagine. Unless we sort of like, are they? We like make a lot of fruit trees. Did we like engineer, or are they like all naturally occurring fruits?
I don't make fruits, Jimmy.
I don't mean it.
You're not fucking. You're not Bob Ross. And now I create a pear. It is like an apple, but it's juicier. And it's shaped.
It's
like
shaped like a pear.
Of the man.
No, but like, what I'm saying is, like, are they like, you know how bananas don't actually look like bananas? They're like tiny little tiny little fruits that are like more the size of Brazil nuts, and like we engineered them into being this like actual hand-sized fruit. Like, apple trees are like, you know how you can get, like, I'm waffling on here. Just tell me to shut the fuck up. But you know how you get, like, little crab apples that are tiny little, like, rat testicle little things? And then you've got Brayburn and Granny Smiths. Like, we must have made most of fruit ourselves.
Do you reckon they looked at a painting and like, those yellow, juicy things hanging from a tree? Wouldn't it be great if they were the same color as orange? They'd be great. Oh, fuck, Alex.
I literally, if anyone wants to get me a new mic or not a new mic, a new headset, please do. Feel free to donate and send me a headset because I can't hear anything right now.
Well, you don't want to hear what I'm just rambling. I'm rambling on and on and on. Okay, let's move on to Dickhead of the Week. Okay, shall we? Because did you see this video of Jamie Carragher? For anybody in America that's listening, Jamie Carragher is an ex-footballer. He was quite a big deal if you're a Liverpool fan. He's now retired from football. He's now a football pundit on Sky Sports. And this week, first of all, you got some dickhead in a car driving alongside him, shouting out of his window, 2-1, 2-1, Jamie. He's like giving him shit as he's driving whilst filming. And then Jamie Carragher winds down his window and literally gobs through the window of this car, gobbing all over.
He hocks a proper loogie as well, doesn't he? It fucking goes everywhere. Yeah. Oh, it's disgusting.
So he gobs all over this guy's daughter, and then the video ends with him, oh, Jamie Carragher spat on my daughter, did he? Oh, that's nice. Nice. Proper like, ka-ching, I'm going to be famous, And first of all, I'm not putting Jamie Carragher on his own into Dickhead of the Week. This guy driving the car goes into it more than Jamie Carragher. First of all, you can't drive whilst filming and antagonising people in the lane next to you.
While you've got your kid in the next thing. Yeah, done. Driving around in poor weather with fucking no concentration, one hand on the wheel with your fucking little girl next to you. Good parenting, fuckhand.
I wouldn't have sent this video in. I don't care. Like, maybe I would have gone on social media, like, inboxed him. You spat on my daughter. Like, say sorry.
Say sorry.
I wouldn't have say sorry. Jamie Carragher has been suspended from Sky Sports because of this, but right, first of all, Sky Sports pundits get paid a lot of money to deal with pressure. That's the reason they get paid. You get a lot of shit. Like, football fans are the worst people in the world. Like, if you ever look on like Match of the Day, for example, it's just abuse. It's just abuse. So all that's going to be aimed. Like, you're going to get people from Manchester giving Jamie Carragher shit on a daily basis.
Yeah, I would.
You've got to learn to deal with that.
I would rather go through a thread on NeoGAF and type in Xbox is better than PlayStation and sit there and take the abuse than look on one of those forums. I really would.
It's terrible. It's really bad. And, sometimes you can get a good conversation with people. I love talking to people on Facebook. I kind of have days where I'm not feeling trolly, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell you how it is. I used to have days more.
You're a troll.
Way back.
You're a proper troll. Like, don't even deny it. Like, the times that I've been on Facebook and I see your comments, and it's always in like spoiler ways where you make a comment on something that I don't want to see, and I'm like, oh, I'm not following them, so I know that there must be an Alex comment underneath here. And lo and behold, I scroll down, and then you've posted some dickhead comment about someone's just like, "You're a knob, you are." It's just like, really.
Hey man, I'm a bit more complex than that. But the reason why I bring that up is the guy's getting paid to kind of turn his head the other way and just get on with life. You know what I mean? Gobbing at someone for giving them the kind of abuse they're used to whilst driving down the road. Jamie Carragher, yeah, you're a dick. Like, maybe take a bit of time out and then come back. I wouldn't fire him for it. He's a really good sports pundit. I'm not too keen on Liverpool as a team, but Jamie Carragher is good at what he does. So don't sack him for that, because these things happen. But I also want to see this guy fined for fucking driving like an idiot and giving someone shit. So you guys rightly deserve Dickhead of the Week this week.
Yeah,
and
that's mine in there as well. So he is dickhead of the week, both of them.
You're so bad with dickhead of the week. You're like, I'm just going to piggyback on Alex's dickhead of the week.
No, the thing is, like, there's only so much dickhead shit that goes on, and like, I don't want to like constantly be trawling through stuff, like trying to throw a subject in there and watering it all down. Like, usually there is one clear dickhead of the week, and like that's it. I spend my time searching through and finding fucking black box coordinates that fucking have been sent from Malaysian planes that have been shot down by aliens. That's the shit that I look into.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so look out for these stickers. I'm going to get them made soon, or some sort of merch that we can give to people that interact with our show. Because I think it's only fair if you want to take a few seconds out to kind of interact with us for Ask Jimmy and suggestions for Dickhead of the Week, etc., etc. We're going to give you a shout out on the show, like we did with Ryan, and we'll send you out stickers as well. Ryan, we haven't got them yet, so you can't have one. But this is an idea. This is.
Let's hope you get chose again.
Yeah. So yeah, stickers on merch or something like that. We're gonna sort it out. We can run competitions as well.
Yeah, I reckon
so look out for that.
That sort of like highlights maybe an opportunity for us to we sort of rounded off superhero bar fight, and there's still things that I'm working on in the background to push that forward. But maybe like bringing all this like merch stuff up is maybe an opportunity for us to start working on like the Patreon and all that kind of stuff, and extra content and things to warrant stuff, people going out their way for stuff like that so that we can do things. Yeah,
I saw someone that did something great on Patreon. I'm not going to name the show because it sounds really bad, but they were people that joined their Patreon. They just send them out a postcard with the logo on the back with a thank you. I think people like stuff like that. So if we are going to get a Patreon going, I'd like to hear your ideas as well. What would you like to see on our Patreon page? Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the shandango. What the fuck? Let's just end the show because I'm
shandango. What the fuck is that? Yeah, right. We got the semi-finals for the Masturbator Superhero Bar Fight Trophy coming up. So make sure you stick around for that. But as far as the actual podcast shit goes, see you next week.
Peace out, bitches. Much love.
Welcome to Superhero Bar Fight, everybody. So we're back for another week doing the semi-finals of the Masturbator Trophy. I'm struggling to get a sentence out because all I can see is Alex doing his best Bollywood dancing in the background here, or at least it looks like Bollywood dancing. That's probably just him trying to do his best actual dancing. So in the first semi-final, we've got Aquaman and SpongeBob going up against Thor and Pikachu. They beat their respective Batman and Scooby and Superman and Duffman to come through to the semi-finals. So, should we kick it straight off? Should we get straight into it?
Yeah, they're in a bar.
What are they drinking? They're drinking salt water. I reckon they must be.
Why would anyone drink salt water?
What do you think Aquaman does, like Sambuca shots, or do you think he just drinks seawater?
He drinks the blood of his enemies.
You'd never have a hangover as Aquaman, would you? Because you wouldn't wake up and be like, "Oh, I'm dehydrated as fuck," would you? Like that's not going to happen. Let's face it.
Yeah. Well, look, they can't be in the sea, because if they're in the sea, it's game over for everyone. As soon as that electric starts flying everywhere, they've got to be somewhere else. Let's not choose a library this time, Alex, because that was shit. They're in a quarry. Okay, they're in a quarry. Lots of diggers and stuff everywhere. And earth movers if you're American. So they're in a quarry. Okay, yeah, they meet up.
Yeah, basically there's a little underground tunnel that Aquaman goes through to get away from all the shit from people in Atlantis, because he can't deal with all their bullshit anymore. So he goes for a little swim every now and again through this tunnel. Leads up to this quarry where he hangs out with SpongeBob on a Tuesday. And it just so happens to be, yeah, Thor and Pikachu are basically there. No, in fact, I think what's happening, right, is, and I'm just going to have to roll with this because I know you won't get the reference, but Thor and Pikachu are in Cerulean City, and they've just beat Misty, the water Pokemon gym leader, and they've just gone up north past the bicycle bridge where you get the golden nugget, and there's a bit of water there. And they're doing some training, and that happens to be the same quarry that Aquaman and SpongeBob train up. So Thor, obviously, because he is the ultimate Pokemon trainer right now, he's given up on his life in Asgard, and he's just like he's all out about that Pokemon training life.
And his virginity has grown back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He sees SpongeBob, thinks it's a sponge Pokemon, so throws Pikachu out of the Pokeball, and Pikachu comes out.
Oh, good. I like it.
And Aquaman walks around the corner. He's just like,
"No, not today."
I'm glad you helped me out then, because I was gonna do a my man joke again. I was like, no, only one per fight. So yeah, I reckon we're gonna have a little bit of a Pokemon battle between Pikachu and SpongeBob to begin with, just to test the water. To give the pun, I
think straight away Pikachu's fucked. Okay, not Pikachu, SpongeBob, because it doesn't matter if he's outside of his water, inside of him, he's got all that salt water still. And as soon as Pikachu hits him with any kind of electricity, you're going to have a fried sponge right in front of you.
Yeah, you say that, but he's got those massive old school shoes, and those school shoes have thick rubber soles on it. So I reckon it'd be interesting to consider the fact that Pikachu's electricity just gets grounded each time. Can you imagine how fucking pissed off you'd be? Just be like, you're a sponge, I'm Pikachu, I'm going to fuck you up. Are you sure you want to do this? You can just press run, and you can run away. It's like... And he goes to run, but like it just comes up with a message saying, "You tried to run, but SpongeBob SquarePants can't run away."
I like the idea of Aquaman being stood on top of the quarry, seeing all this happening, and he's just like, "No!" And he jumps off the top of the quarry. He's got his trident in the air ready, and he just fucking throws it at Pikachu and completely skewers Pikachu. And there's Pikachu blood and guts and gore everywhere, whilst he's impaled onto the floor.
What? Pikachu's just dead.
Yeah,
what, just dead. Like even if Thor wins, Pikachu can't join him in the final. Dead.
Yeah, no, I mean like just for this round. No, I like the idea of just let's fuck Pikachu up like that. I mean, I know you're gonna get these Pokemon fans like, no, don't do that to Pikachu, but a giant gold trident flying it through the air at you at the speed of fucking sound or whatever he throws it at.
While SpongeBob is there, just like. Absolutely in shock at the fact that rubber cells.
I like the idea of like Pikachu taking out SpongeBob, like frying him up so much. Even like if he can't get electrocuted, it's gonna heat him up, and then his eyeballs just dry up, his mouth fucking falls down, and like SpongeBob's like completely dried up. Fucking like do you remember Interview with the Vampire when they let the sunlight go on those two girls in the tunnel and they just fucking turn into ash. I like the idea of that happening to SpongeBob.
Basically like anyone's sponge after they forgot to buy a new one after about a month and it's got loads of pubes in it and it's shriveled up. Basically it looks like that on the floor.
Okay, so just as like, you know, he's about to finish SpongeBob off, he's fucked, like this trident comes and smashes into Pikachu. He's fucking gone, and SpongeBob just falls to the floor. He's dying slowly.
Yeah,
choking on his charred tongue.
And Aquaman and Thor look around each other, and it turns into a traditional superhero bar fight.
Yeah.
I would love to see Aquaman and Thor go against each other, but the electricity versus water. How the fuck would Aquaman cope with that?
I don't think he could. I don't think it, because even if he's got his trident is a beacon for electricity. Like, you know, so it doesn't matter if he's got the trident. He could throw his trident at Thor, but Thor would just fly up and evade it. He'd throw his hammer at Aquaman, knock him off his ass. If they got close quarter, there'd be a lot of hard punches thrown at each other. But
do you know what though? Are we talking Hemsworth and Momoa, Aquaman and Thor here? Because if that was to happen, you know that the macho pride would be like, you know how like you see someone holding a gun and a knife, and the person with the gun puts their gun down. It's just like, come on, let's have a fair fight. I reckon Thor would be like, I'm not using electricity. And Aquaman would put his trident down, and Mjolnir as well. The fist fight between those two. Poor. That would be awesome. Just
It
flying
would,
at
but-
each other.
And that circumstance, I think that'd be really cool. The only thing is, Thor can fly without Mjolnir, can't he?
Oh, I'm not too
Yeah,
sure.
he can, because like Mjolnir was just like a way of with holding his power, stopping him from going overboard. Once he loses the hammer, he's all flying in electricity and fury, isn't he? So yeah, I think we can have him flying, but Aquaman can just jump. So I think if Thor is like gliding in the air, he's looking down at Aquaman jumps up at him, he could just smash him back down to earth with a fucking bang, can't he? Whether he's got the hammer or not, he can just stand there. There's going to be no...
Batman's special move in Injustice 2, where like he puts him on a balloon up into the sky, and then like with the Batmobile, with the Batwing thing, just drives him straight into the ground. It would be like that without the spaceship, of just Thor just
grabbing him by his
into
ankles,
the ground. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and go on.
I was going to say, for good measure, I think we can have Aquaman in a crater on the floor. He's fucked up, and then Thor picks up his hammer, and he's like, I thought you said, and he's like, I lied, and he just fries him in the fucking hole. Electricity, and then like Aquaman's just looks the same as SpongeBob.
Yeah,
grilled,
and then the credits roll. And in the after credits scene, basically what we see is Thor halfway home goes, oh, remembered something, goes back, and he goes there with a dustpan and brush and starts scooping up Pikachu's like just splodged remains back into there. And then the rest of the credits roll, and then in the post credit scene, the camera's still there, just Aquaman's just bit of smoke, only one flame left on him. It's just smoke coming up, and SpongeBob basically just as he fell down, he sort of fell down into a little bit of a puddle, and he's like sponges back up into normal SpongeBob, and he's just like, I'll get my revenge. And then that's it.
So we've got Thor and Pikachu going through to the next round. Pikachu's a bit skewered, but he's
going to have to definitely go to the Poke Center with their Mincheries. He's just mush.
I think we've got that covered pretty well. I think that's really good. Pikachu would definitely get fucked up. SpongeBob would definitely get fucked, because I know he had him blown up into Muscle Man and stuff, but like Pikachu's got range with that electricity. They go no other way. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so
Thor and Pikachu through to the final.
Yeah, so yeah, I think Aquaman and SpongeBob might have got a bit of a bad fight card there, to be fair. They could go up against a lot of other people and win, but it's just the way it worked. So tune in. Well, we've got another one actually coming up straight away, haven't we? Got the other semi-finals. So yeah, stick around.
Stick around, bitches. Much
later,
love.
guys. And welcome back to the final of the semi-finals of the superhero Jesus Christ, you're doing it again. I can't keep up with this. Stop Bollywood dancing.
I get so excited. With these. Yeah, sorry. Back on.
So, so the last semi-final, the second semi-final of the Masturbator tournament for Superhero Bar Fight. This week we've got The Flash and Sonic going up against Doctor Strange and Rick Sanchez. Are we getting straight into it again, as usual? We're not doing any sort of ability breakdowns for these. We're just having fun with them. So I think we've got to kick it off with the start scene.
Yeah, they're in Doctor Strange's... Oh, go on. You got an idea? Go.
Oh, no, that's fine. Go on if you're going somewhere.
I was going to say they're in Doctor Strange's loft apartment. With that big window. I like the setting there. The big Doctor Strange window behind them. Yeah. The Flash has picked up Sonic because obviously Flash is quicker, and they just appear. Rick Sanchez is on a bench. He's fucking pissed. He's lying down. He can't be bothered. Doctor Strange turns up. He's like, "Why are you in my lair?" I don't know how he. Why are you here?
Why is he just turned into like a dimensional monster?
He's fucking Smaug again.
It's just like he just talks like American Benedict Cumberbatch. Like that's all he is.
Hi, I'm Doctor Strange. What are you doing in my house? There you go. Okay, so they've turned up. They mean business. Flash is all about fucking kicking the shit out of Doctor Strange because he thinks he's a little strange. Sonic has come along, unwilling but sticking up for his buddy. Okay.
So what? Sonic is like an awkward teenager. Sonic in this, is he? All of a sudden, it's like he doesn't want to really do it.
I don't want to do it, but Flash is my boy. You know, we've got a score to settle. And I think we can have. This is going to be very short, by the way.
No, it's not.
I love Flash, but against Doctor Strange.
So the Flash is going to be sort of zooming in and out, trying to get punches on him. But Doctor Strange, if he gets a chance to like stop time, how the Flash should still be going at normal speed, though.
I guess so. But still, you know, that's fine, isn't it? If he's at normal speed, you can slow down time and still have Flash.
So Doctor Strange is completely slowed down time, and they're just fist fighting like normal people. I reckon during all of this, during this whole fist fight, so I love the idea of having two separate things on the go at the same time. The Flash and Doctor Strange are having a fist fight. He's locally slowed down time to the point it's almost stopped, so that they are literally just like, it looks like a UFC fight. And Sonic, like you said, he's a little bit pissed off. He's gone back. He's like, if you've seen the scene in the new Jumanji film, basically, where they're just rummaging around the rest of the shit in the loft and they come across like an old games console. He finds this dusty Mega Drive and he's got Sonic and Knuckles in there. He plugs it in and gets sucked back into his own like universe. He's like, shit, I've got a fight going on here. But he's in his start credit scene and it's like, and you've got player one, press start, and he's like, oh, what the fuck? And it's fucking Rick Sanchez picks up the controller. 16-bit Rick Sanchez. And in the ring where usually Sonic sticks his head through and then Tails sticks his head through afterwards, it's just Rick Sanchez's head pops through that logo on the 16-bit fucking start screen and just fucking bites his ear off Mike Tyson style. And you've got Sonic just like, wow, what the fuck? What the fuck,
and then it starts off... He starts off with round one, and it's basically Sonic running away from Rick.
He's Rick's in a Dr. Robotnik fucking vehicle with the thing with like the mole drill, just like. You
got Sonic jumping whilst Rick's shooting his laser, bam, 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 and then just as Sonic gets to the end of the level and he thinks he's safe, that you see a green portal open up, and you see 12 Ricks walk out because you've obviously got the Citadel of Rick. He's got fucking hundreds of thousands of versions of himself, and just as he thinks he's about to end it, they all walk out of a portal, all aiming lasers at him, and Sonic just gets turned into tuna, baby.
Tuna, baby. Yeah,
He hits a spinner at the end of the level. He goes spinning up in the air. They tune him up, and then the spinner comes landing down onto Sonic and bam, straight through his fucking spine.
Right through. I love the fact that Rick Sanchez is Dr. Robotnik's replacement during all of this. I'm trying to remember the boss theme music, and I just pulled it up on my phone then. I was like, actually, no, I'd rather not get the video pulled off YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So,
and we go back to Flash and Doctor Strange, okay?
Yeah. So I honestly think Doctor Strange could only keep up for so long. He's not really well trained in all of that shit.
Here's how this will go, and this I think you'll agree with me on this one. So you've got him slowing down time, so they're fighting normally, okay? Mm-hmm. And then Flash comes running at Doctor Strange. Rick returns, opens up a portal, and then Doctor Strange turns time back to normal, and Flash goes flying through this portal and straight into a fucking spike. Bam! Because he's not prepared for time to go back to normal speed. He goes through Rick's portal, mm-hmm. and he can go into a wall. He can go to a car. He can go to anything. But at that speed, he's fucking goo.
I like the idea as well that as Rick comes back into like the outside of Mega Drive world, there's like this visual shiny bubble around a really slow moving Flash and Doctor Strange, and Rick's just there like, huh. And just sits down, makes himself a sandwich, and just starts eating and just
sipping out of his hip flask.
Yeah, gets his laptop up and brings up Pornhub and just chills out for a while. He comes back upstairs and they're still just about to punch each other. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, guys! And that's when the portal comes into play. Yeah, is the sound effects like that you'd hear,
like a bug against a windshield.
Yeah.
I like this. Like Doctor Strange and Rick Sanchez working together is a phenomenal force. You know, not just a portal gun. There's a scientific side. Rick can rustle up anything. He can turn himself into a fucking pickle. For Christ's sake,
I think we might have like made their team a bit strong. Like everyone else has got like, who would you rather have? Scooby-Doo as Batman. Like, or do you rock up as Doctor Strange and be like, hey, this is my guy, Rick Sanchez. He fucking kills universes. You'd be like, if you were Batman, you'd be like, I'm feeling a bit gypped. My mate's gonna get fucking turned into a shish kebab by fucking SpongeBob, and your guy's got a portal gun. Anyway, Doctor Strange and Rick Sanchez go through to the final. We've just put the last episode up, so we won't sort of spoil that of who they're going up against, but we do have who they're facing off in the final, so make sure you go and watch the last video if you haven't seen that, and tune in next week for the final, and we're going to wrap up the Masturbator Trophy next week.
I love this. Thank you very much, and peace out, guys, as always.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.